Really?
So
Really? Someone says they're funny over there.
So it's
You had
pretty
to
much
catch the tail end of that. But guess, Brian.
so it's Jim Beam,
Red Stag, Jim Beam.
Red Stag Jim Beam,
Mm-hmm.
with a splash of grenadine.
Healthy splash of grenadine, a
Healthy
can
splash.
of Pepsi Mango, a healthy pour, not huge, but nice healthy pour of Tropicana Caribbean Sunset. It's the fruit punch, and then a healthy
Pepsi Mango.
Yes.
What is that?
It is Pepsi.
Pepsi with mango. Little mango juice in it. It's good. It's delicious. It's like mangoes, which I do.
I do, but I'm not sure how I feel about Pepsi.
Nice. Classic.
Liz she couldn't finish it, so I'm finishing it for her. Flying Fish mango smoothie.
Interesting.
Ooh.
It's not bad.
Apparently, I'm the only one not drinking grass today. And on that note. Welcome to the Diz Idiots, the podcast about Disney World, Disneyland, Universal, Halloween Horror Nights, Halo the TV show, general horror stuff, Blumhouse Studios, Bruce Campbell Fan Club,
we love Bruce
Fan Club, Scrooge McDuck, and whatever else we feel like putting it in. We're the idiots, so you don't have to be. I am Dozer. I am your resident Scrooge McDuck idiot. That is Bruce, your resident Halloween Horror Nights idiot. And that's Brian, our resident travel agent idiot.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
We're Beetlejuice idiot today.
Yeah, I figured, I don't know, kind of protesting in lieu of Bob Chapek signing a 3 deal with Disney.
So you're wearing Beetlejuice?
Well,
Sure,
apparently you say his name enough, he gets 3 more years.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, we're in big trouble. Sorry, folks. Chapek's here forever tonight because, there his name is again.
Chapek. I'll just say it wrong.
Chapek.
What a bitch. How? Everybody thought that they were going to fire him during this meeting, and how the fuck does he leave with a 3-year extension? What happened? I need to be inside this meeting.
To be the rumor it happened?
I think I know the answer. Nobody wants the job. They're just like, let him have it for 3 more years.
After him, who knows? Maybe Stag said, listen, guys, give me 3 years and I'll come back.
I'll take anybody. Give it to Rhodey. He'd be terrible. Absolutely terrible.
He would be awful. It would be the best. It would be fun.
Only on day 1 of CEO, fix the Yeti.
Literally. Honestly, it would be a garbage fire with Rhodey, but one hell of a fire would be the colors and artistry.
Hey, if we're going down, we might as well go down in glory with Rhodey.
Rhodey, I feel like having Rhodey at the helm would be like having Walt and Eisner as the team.
There wouldn't be Walt and Eisner. There'd be Walt on a dead guy or Eisner and a dead guy.
It's like Rhodey is almost like the John Hammond. We spare no expense.
For fuck's sake!
Like
if they ever remake Jurassic Park, just cast Joe Rhodey as Hammond. He is him. Oh my god!
He actually really is. That would be amazing casting too. He would knock that out of the park.
Instead of a cane, it's a giant earring.
Just big ass earring, Mosquito and Amber hanging from
it. He would be the modern day John Hammond, just walking around. And it's just Joe. Like, yeah.
We're
Oh
saying
my
this,
God.
and somewhere Rhodey's going, I know an island, if I could only populate it. There would-
Well, yeah, he probably knows the islands that Disney didn't buy for their
Exactly.
private islands.
Yeah.
exactly. He goes, I've been to an island once and it wasn't well habitated. I got this.
Yeah. Universal.
You know, I still think I have weird dream jobs in Disney. Everybody knows I want to drive a boat on the Sassagoula River. Another job, I would like to spend the summer working as one of like the 25 people that just work at Castaway Cay.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I've heard people like they were freaking out because one of the big hurricanes slammed Castaway Cay, and they're like, and they just kept them there. And I'm like, well, where the hell were they going?
I don't know. They could dig a hole in the water. That work great.
Oh no, I'm stranded on Castaway Cay. What am I going to do?
Well, the real issue is not a lot of food's actually kept there.
Oh, everything's brought in from the ship.
Yes. The ship brings everything. No ship, no anything.
Well, that technically there was this party on a mountain I heard about once.
Ooh. Donner, party of 5. Your table is ready. Donner, party of 5. On a
I'm
side
sorry,
note,
party of 4.
in the town I live in, and the genius, there's a German restaurant called the Donner Bistro.
No, there is not. Please tell me the menu's like brunette, redhead.
No, it's all like schnitzel and shit, but
Schnitzel and shit.
That's fantastic.
I will have the schnitzel and shit.
I think I just made a new restaurant, schnitzel and shit.
That could almost...
Schnitzel and shits with a Z at the end.
Yes.
Like it's
Yeah.
a name.
Yeah.
The shit family.
That's something Universal would put in.
Meats. The Z stands for quality.
Yeah.
If Universal were to make Epcot, Schnitzel and Shits would be the beer garden.
Oh my God. Schnitzel and shit.
Well,
or
Yeah, well,
should it
Mr.
be like
Schnitzel.
it should be like SCHITZ or whatever, or like SWI, like something like really German, but like it's pronounced shit.
Jawohl.
so one of my favorite wineries, one of the wines they make is Shits and Giggles.
Mm-hmm.
But Shits in their fake lore is a name. And it's their German wine. So
There you go.
it works. But as we talk about terrible decisions, and I am not going to be as harsh on this as my intro will lead. Disney cancels the Brightline station in Disney Springs.
Mm-hmm.
I am not as harsh on this for one reason. I read through the article, and I could probably take the time. I know the project manager. I have a connection for once.
Yes, you do.
There
I'm
you go.
impressed.
That's awesome.
Hey, Amtrak employee for many years. There's not too many train projects in the country. But they have, the state of Florida has fucked with this so much in where they could buy land. Because a lot of it comes down to who owns the right of way for the land they're buying to use.
Yeah.
Right.
And there was some contention that required it to be rerouted.
That wouldn't surprise me, especially. It's very, if you think about where they are, that's not easy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that reroute puts it like out of the way to go to Disney Springs.
Yeah.
That makes
So
sense.
And if you read the statement, because the headline is, it's bashing you. Disney cancels. The official quote is, they do not anticipate to be part of the project. It sounds like they kind of want to be, but not if it's going to be.
Not if it's going to be, hey, it's going to be a 50 to 60-minute trip.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm actually glad Disney is not part of this, because like when I went down when we went down in May, I was scratching my head going like, where would they even put a train station in Disney Springs that would basically tell people like, oh, come ride the train and then take all your luggage from Disney Springs off the train yard and get to your hotel. Like, it would be a nightmare.
So
it would be an absolute nightmare.
I had a twofold for this to work. One, they would need to bring back luggage services.
Right.
Absolutely, you have to.
Yeah.
It would have to be, as long as the train's running, luggage service is running, not this, oh, at 10 p.m. we stop doing it. No, it would just have to keep running. And you wouldn't have to, I would think you would set it up so that I would put the station near Cirque. Because that's where I could logically see the space being to put in a train station.
Like almost on the other side of Cirque du Soleil?
Yeah, in the
like
parking lot area there.
Gotcha.
And then, here's the key. Put in a second bus depot there.
That was only way this ever would work. That's so, Brian, you're saying that like they would just have their own bus. And frankly, you could easily do a bus depot here. These hotels here, these hotels here, these hotels there. Every tourist knows where they're staying because the first thing they're telling is, well, I want to get to so and so.
Right.
And you make it so that these buses are going there. And so that you're not getting bombarded with people from Cirque and whatnot, because you really do want these to be just for the trains. When there's no trains, you don't want buses there. You want it just the trains. You make it slightly inconvenient. So whereas you go up to the normal thing, you get a bus to your resort. No, this is going back to the old school. It's a bus that's serving Caribbean Beach and both Port Orleans.
Yeah, it's like
that's why I said section it off. You know, these 3 hotels this lane. You know, these 3 hotels that lane.
Right.
Pop Century and maybe All Star. All Star's definitely your own lane.
Right.
All Star Sports. Just walk. Sorry, we haven't updated these rooms since we built the hotel. You're just walking.
You're just walking. But I think I was just going to say in that article that didn't they say they were looking at a spot though that would be geographically convenient for like SeaWorld, Universal, Disney.
2 of those two of those don't work with the one. SeaWorld, Universal, Disney. 2 opposite directions.
The convenient spot would basically be SeaWorld.
Yeah, it would be like
Yeah, it just
SeaWorld's like pretty close to smack dab between them.
Much closer to the universe. I shouldn't say much closer. It's closer to. No, you're right. I guess it would be smack dab, wouldn't it?
I only know because when my dad owned the travel agency.
I'm thinking of fun. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the other fun spot. I'm like, it's right there, dude. Oh, you SeaWorld.
Oh, here we go. I got it. Put the train station. I hate to say it. It might be blasphemy, but you have that Holy Land up for grabs that it's been deserted.
No,
that's completely beyond all of them.
And it's not up for grabs.
Brian, do you? You don't know what the Holy Land experience is? Come on, Brian. You've looked it up. You can't tell me you've looked it up and thought
it's before you get to Universal.
What?
It's like it's before you get to Universal. If you're taking I-4 towards Disney, Holy Land's first, then you have like SeaWorld, Universal, then Disney.
Holy Land, but you're going the opposite direction of Disney.
Yeah. I'm just thinking
it was Holy Land, decent gap, Universal, good gap, SeaWorld, Disney. But your train station, the whole Holy Land, that still doesn't do you much.
Plus, the Holy Land Experience is a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Is it now?
Mm-hmm.
When did that? Wait, I didn't even. When did that happen?
Like the day that it was announced, Holy Land Experience was closed for good. Novant Health swooped in,
wow.
bought that land, and they're like,
Perfect.
hospital time.
Yeah, that would be prime real estate for. Yeah.
But here's the thing with Disney. We're discussing all this. And this is what kind of bothers me. You could afford your own line of buses, and you all know it.
Yeah.
It's almost like they had a bus service before.
Yeah, I'm like, and they could afford them. But I'm saying they could afford their own thing.
Bruce, they're not replacing the buses they have.
I know.
They're chartering in these weird ass charter buses to take you to the parks instead of buying city buses.
It doesn't make sense because we know they can afford this.
I'm waiting for the day that I go to Disney World and I'm standing there in line for the bus, all happy, and one of those Tubin buses comes up. That school bus that has been 20 years out of service, no windows,
floor falling out, no seat,
Broken-
seat uncracked,
Broken seatbelt.
It's a school bus. There ain't no seatbelt.
Oh, it's true. Yeah, it's like the
broken seatbelt, less seatbelt than ever.
that pleather, like hard when your head hits
all
it, like-
cracked, and it's all cracked, making it jagged.
And it really is an old Tubin bus. So there's that, that dirty swamp ass water from all the rivers. That's going to be a fun thing.
There's no AC. The windows
Of
fog up.
course not.
That metal interior where your head's just like leaning up against the window, and all of a sudden you hit that one like pothole. Ow!
Oh, I've been there, done that, bought that shirt.
Oh, the school bus. Ugh. Sometimes I get PTSD just thinking about
And
it.
they all smell. They had that oil smell.
Or if you got stuck in the one seat that was above the tire and your knees are like up against your chest because they have no leg room now because you're sitting on a tire.
That was my last ride on the Magical Express.
What, sitting on a tire?
God.
Yeah. We had a choice of any fucking row in the bus, but we let the 3-year-old choose.
Therein lies your first mistake.
That's your mistake right there. You let the kid choose where to sit.
And she didn't even sit on the tire.
You
I did.
Of course.
But sacrifices must be made, right? Sacrifices for the kids.
Yes. Absolutely. But, so, more years of Chapek. No good way to get to Disney. Just rent a car. Trust me.
While we were talking about grapes for a second, I need to bring up one. Something that grinds my gears.
Uh-oh.
What is the competition with all these Florida parks? Because we all know Disney and Universal like to compete, but obviously Disney's building Tron. Tron's coming. How come SeaWorld decided, you guys got to ride on a bike? Well, we have to beat that. Stand up on a surfing board. That's right. SeaWorld is bringing back standing coasters because I guess they wanted to, I thought about it, are they trying to compete with Disney here? I'm like, no, they wouldn't be that stupid, would they?
They are setting up for the inevitable day they no longer have animals.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's the high surf coaster. I'm like, so you're standing. And it's a new take on the stand-up coaster because those were so popular for so many reasons. Oh my! I love stand-up coasters.
They already have the jet ski coaster, so they already have the bike.
Mm-hmm.
Which that thing looks fun as hell.
I've heard people have gone on it say it's amazing. It's just fun. It's just a real entertaining, thrilling ride.
What?
Exhilarating. The wave ride, the jet ski coasters. I think SeaWorld Texas and does SeaWorld San Diego have one too?
Probably.
It's been a long time since I've been to SeaWorld. What, jet ski coaster?
Yeah. Well, you have to go to Sea. No, I'm talking. Well, I'm not SeaWorld Orlando. I'm saying SeaWorld Orlando is doing a stand-up coaster. The
Yeah,
other
yeah, yeah.
SeaWorlds have like it looks like you're riding on a jet ski,
Oh,
like Tron,
Oh.
but not.
yeah.
SeaWorld.
That's it. I just want to gripe because
ski
stand-up
ride.
coasters were still a thing.
Yeah, when was the last time I rode a stand? Oh, it was when we went to Cedar Point, and it was what, Mantis?
Which is
Or
no stand-up.
What's that?
Which is no longer stand-up.
It's not stand up anymore.
No, they converted it.
Oh, man.
They were merciful.
The last one I rode was King's Dominion, Shockwave, Togo,
Oh.
and I rode
Oh.
it a lot. I rode it like 5 or 6 times.
The first and last stand-up coaster I rode was Mantis at
Yeah.
Cedar Point.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's
I remember that.
What is this?
Theme Park Shark.
Ah, thank you. Wave Breaker.
So this is at San Diego?
Yes. San Antonio.
San Antonio, none. I thought San Diego might have one.
I didn't realize San Antonio still had a SeaWorld. Last time I was there was like nothing to do. That's cool.
Welcome back. We hope you enjoyed your rescue mission with us here at Wave Breaker.
Yeah, like it's not quite as bike for the seats though. It's more looks like a traditional seat.
It is a
Right.
traditional seat. Oh, didn't know that.
Please secure all hats, glasses, wallets, keys, and other loose articles, and step into the coaster as quickly and safely
Don't
as
you
possible.
kind of sit more like that on a jet ski? You're not really like this.
Ooh, show building.
Yeah.
Looks like you've been finding sea turtle rescuers. Are you ready?
Sea
Sit
turtle.
up straight, eyes forward.
Your rescue.
Oh, it's a simulation.
Ah, shoot.
I like this one.
I think it looks pretty exciting.
Yeah.
You know, it's not doing anything too high or fancy.
Oh, another launch. Nice.
Then again, like, you know, with being on like Wave Riders and all that kind of stuff, you're not really doing anything fancy anyway.
Yeah. I question our time on land here.
What?
They
Probably
do
doesn't look like too much, but that's a fun coaster. I like this.
everything's so well themed to water,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then you finish on land. But there's Wave Breaker. That is like one of the things I want to go to SeaWorld for. SeaWorld San Antonio, I want to go to because they have that, and then they have the weird bastardization yet oddly fun of Journey to Atlantis,
Mm-hmm.
where it's nothing like Orlando, but it's two towers where you spin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember. So when I was down there, I mean, my God, this is like back when I was in the military, 'cause I was stationed down in San Antonio. I just remember going there, and I'm like, first of all, that attraction, Journey to Atlantis, and I'm like, it's nothing like Orlando. But then I also remember like going there and go, there's nothing here. Like now, like I said, it's been 12, 15 years since I've been down there. I'm sure there's a lot has changed for SeaWorld. But like, yeah, I remember it was just Shamu's show, Journey to Atlantis, and I think like one or two roller coasters, and that's it. Like there was nothing, absolutely nothing.
That's not bad for a SeaWorld though.
Yeah, it's very small. It's very, very small.
All you have to remember at the end of the day, there was SeaWorld Ohio.
Shut up! I was good. I'm like,
yes,
what
you're
city
right.
was that in? I forget. But I was going to say SeaWorld Ohio existed.
SeaWorld Ohio. That's an easy one to remember what city it was in.
Wasn't it Columbus?
No.
No.
Cowega Lake. It's half of that park.
Wow.
Oh my God! I never knew that, but it makes total sense.
Yeah.
Because it was two separate parks.
Yeah.
Then Six Flags bought the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then Cedar Fair bought the whole thing, and then they made it a water park and got rid of everything.
Huh.
Oh, Cowega. Listen, when your other theme parks in your state are Cedar Point and Kings Island.
I don't know why they ever bought it. Besides the fact that Cowega Lake, it was ginormous. Like, there's a ton of space there.
Six Flags thought it's like Buffalo. Let's buy it. We already have Buffalo.
But let's also keep in mind, that brings us up to at least two parks that Six Flags has purchased with marine creatures.
Who was the first one?
Six Flags Marineland. I mean, Discovery.
I was gonna say you mean about to say that was Discovery Center. Why did I think that? Whatever.
There's another word after it. I was thinking center, but that doesn't sound right because it's
maybe it's not. I'll look at it.
All right, call me crazy. When did Six Flags have a place called Marineland? I must have missed this park growing up as a kid.
It's San Francisco area.
That's probably why then, because I never
Discovery Kingdom.
And I've only ever been to two Six Flags in my life, and Discovery Kingdom is one of them.
Wow.
What's the other one? Because I'm really hoping you're about to say Six Flags America.
No, you know which one it fucking was.
Okay. I thought it could have been America for a second. Give me a break.
Bruce, I've given you PTSD by telling you I've ridden the chiller.
Listen, at least my restraints never released. Like on Viper. Togo. 2 Togos in the night. Togo, folks, Togo is a defunct coaster manufacturer out of Japan. Togo had a very, very, very bad track record of being, I don't want to say rough, but rough.
What amazes me, and this is partially Togo, partially the area. Like, you all know, like, changes in temperature, heavy rains, a lot of moisture, that will negatively affect a roller coaster and the steel construction. Yeah. Then can somebody please enlighten me why the worst, bumpiest, roughest steel coasters in the country are in goddamn Nevada? In the middle of a desert.
Ugh.
Like, probably the land to build a roller coaster and not have issues.
They all have. Honestly, the most in Nevada place I can think of with the best track record is Desperado.
And that's one I'm thinking, well, that's mostly closed, I think, now.
It's closed now. Apparently, they were still operating like occasionally, but I don't know. If it hasn't been running 5 months, I don't want to be the first one on it.
Both that and the Manhattan Express, I have looked at and gone, I want to ride them for one reason. There's a very good chance I'll be the only person on that train at my $35 ticket. But why?
That is
the
$1 million question.
And for
Yeah.
those who don't get the linkage, Togo built the Manhattan Express. We know why that one's so bad.
I thought somebody like revamped it though. It made it less Togo-y.
Everything I have read on that ride is absolutely terrible.
I mean, it makes Drachenfire look like full on B&M.
I would like to ride it just to get that credit off my list, but I need to make sure I bring my chiropractor on the trip with me.
It
No
was
go
one
on
of those-
Togo.
It was one of those. Looking back on it, I've been to Vegas twice. I should have tried.
Hey, I'm just going to take a moment and float a question out here.
Why
What?
haven't the three of us gone to Vegas together? What?
No, the hangover does not need to happen.
It would not be the Hangover.
We're blood brothers.
I do not need a small Asian man assaulting me.
It would not be the Hangover. It would be the sequel of Revenge of the Nerds we never got.
Is this the real
I-
Caesar's Palace? What do you mean? I mean, did the real Caesar live here?
Which, okay, now I have to go on another tangent. I did love the great symmetry that, like, either right before or right after The Hangover 3 came out, which featured a giraffe being decapitated by an overpass.
Yeah.
A giraffe was actually decapitated by an overpass.
Wow, that's
Like, right near it. I'm
freaky.
like, how? How did they get this?
That's
It was like a Simpsons like prophecy would happen.
Thippet did it.
Yeah, because I remember that too. Either the overpass incident actually happened before the movie came out, and that might have been it because like there
But
was
they were-
contro-
It was so close
they
that you
thought
knew
about
they had to film it before that anyone knew of this happening.
well, and they almost talked about taking it out of the movie because it was actually in the news.
Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah,
But-
only in Vegas.
What I was going to ask is what attraction, could be Disney, could be Universal, could be Cedar Fair, could be Six Flags, could be whatever. What attraction that is now defunct are you most annoyed you did not get to ride or experience? If you
How-
have followed my words, you already know where I'm going with mine.
How old of an attraction are we talking?
He said any defunct attraction.
Anything.
Anything you did not get the opportunity to ride. It could be closed before you were born. I don't care. As long as you're not telling me it's like the Russian ice slides.
Hmm.
While they think I am going to start you off because I got to this by a series of linkages. I got here by Vegas. And we talked about bad Vegas coasters. But there's one Vegas attraction that has blown everybody out of the water. And that is Star Trek, The Experience. I'm not even a Trekker. Star Trek's not really my thing, but this is something I need to experience. Everything I've read, everything I've seen, it is awesome. The way they have done teleportation in it is awesome. You teleport. Like, I know you don't actually teleport, but you teleport, and it's convincing. And this was not Disney. That's mine. What you got, Bruce? You look like you figured something out.
I did. I'm going back to the original when it first opened. Son of Beast, Kings Island. A legendary coaster. I read a book about it. It was in some fiction book about it when I was a little kid. There's a coaster I wish I could go back into. I mean, when it comes, there's a lot of experience. I thought like pick one. Like there are a lot of them to choose from. Like looking back on it, I'd like to do, but Son of Beast, with the loop.
With the loop.
It's got to have the loop there.
It ain't Son of Beast without the loop.
Yeah, No, it was just for the novelty of it. I think that would be a really great experience because I've never been to Kings Island, so I haven't even read, the original Beast.
Which I think just broke a wheel.
It did. That's what I heard. But I mean, we're just lucky that's still standing.
I
Yeah.
got one. It's very. Honestly, I don't even know what kind of ride this was. It was at one of the Paramount parks. I want to say it was
Tomb Raider, Crypt.
no.
Ah,
I want to say it was. I want to say it was at King's Dominion.
okay.
License to Thrill. It was a James Bond ride. I have no idea. Like, I never got a chance to experience this. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was like a Star Tours attraction, which I think it was. It might have been some sort of motion simulator based attraction, but it was like this spy Judi Dench, an attraction with Judi Dench, not narrator, like actually playing a character M from James Bond, is like telling you you're on a mission. You have to like save James from like the bad guys or something like that. It was called License to Thrill. And I think it was a motion simulator ride.
It was a motion simulator. It was built in Paramount Parks. It was open in Kings Dominion, Carowinds, California's Great America, Kings Island, and Canada's Wonderland. And it was also at the Trocadero in London, not the one in Philly, and at Fox Studios theme park in Sydney, Australia. And we have a video of it. And it was removed in 2002.
I never got to experience it. Like, it was one of those things where I'm like, I remember seeing the ads for it, like in like a magazine or like one of those theme park travel things, and I'm like, oh, let's go. And we never, either we went down to Kings Dominion and the ride was closed due to technical difficulties, or I felt like it opened and closed like before I couldn't even get a chance.
So it opened in 1999 and closed in 2002. It was,
Yeah.
well, 1998 for the America parks, and it was Australia in 99.
Okay. It's not too. Listen, simulator attractions have that issue.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't last long. A lot of it's popularity.
They're often go.
No, go on.
I'll say they're often built off of spur of the moment pop culture franchises. That's why I see so many like SpongeBob. But it looks like it was good. And Bruce, I'm disappointed.
Why?
You're going way back, talking original version of a ride, and you're not riding the original Jaws?
I was up there. No, believe me, that was up there because two things about the original Jaws I just want to experience. Obviously, the big one is the pulling. So that would be a real one though. Like, I want to go and not only do I want to ride it, but I want to be on a boat where it pulls.
I want to be on a boat where it works.
I want to make it work. The original Jaws attraction, for those of you who may not know, the original one that opened with the park, they had their big moment was the boats that were on pontoons. So a Jaws would jump out of the water, look like it was attaching to the pontoon, and then pull it through the water. If it hit, people were terrified. It was absolutely phenomenal. It worked fantastic. But what happened is you had to leave the boathouse scene and gun the boat as hard as you could. If you were tepid with it, you wouldn't hit the shark on time. But if you gunned it and then pulled back, like it's like gun it, wait, count to 4, pull back, and you'd hit it perfect every time.
On things like that, where precise timing is needed,
Remember,
I don't really know why they fucking give them the actual throttle control.
Yeah, remember, this was Ride and Show and no fault of their own, their first attempt at creating a water attraction. A Universal, a bunch of jerks about everything. But also the other thing besides that is the meat machine at the end. The ending this time, you blew him up. You blew up Jaws, the original ending. And so they called it the meat machine. You'd blow him up, the truck would go under, a explosion of meat, guts, and blood would come. The water would be red. The machine below would collect everything, turn the water back blue, and keep going. It's a pretty cool effect when you hear about it. But that is, sorry to go on the tangent, but to explain people viewing, maybe that is why that's up there for that me. And you were not wrong though, buddy. Was close to picking it.
Oh
But-
man.
You know, Universal at least couldn't get a meat machine to work for an extended period of time.
Oh, the meat machine worked. It was the scene with the pontoon scene was the fatal one.
But Disney can't get an ice machine to work for an extended period of time.
It's true, unfortunately.
I know the problem. I looked into it. I went very deep. I went undercover to find out about this ice machine, and here's the problem. The guy who designed the ice machine for Indiana Jones, he has one other thing he has built in his life.
What?
He has built McDonald's ice cream machine.
You're kidding. You're kidding.
I am absolutely kidding.
Yo,
Okay.
was
I
gonna
thought for a
say.
second you were serious. Like, just shut up.
I'm like,
How
that's
cool?
almost
But
like,
how cool would that be? That's believable. That's the kind of thing you tell someone and you get them to believe it.
that's borderline the food that made America on History Channel. The only guy is known for McFlurries, also designed the ice maker for Indiana Jones.
The man who has made sure you will never be able to have your ice cream at McDonald's. But no, that seems reasonable. Now, are there any rides you wish you never rode? I don't have an answer for this.
Even if it's a bad attraction, you can at least, as much as there's certain things, I guess I could say I was bored on something. I wish I didn't go on that. Maybe I wish I didn't make the trip for it. Most things, even if they're bad, it's just an experience you will never know unless you sit your butt in the seat.
Well,
Yeah.
and here's the thing. I think anything you truly never want to ride again, you probably don't remember it. Because
True.
if you remember it, you're probably in a situation where it's so bad it's good. There was something memorable. There was nothing fun about Drachenfire.
Country Bear Jamboree.
You, that is mean, sir. That is uncalled for. Personal foul over here, Brian.
I know.
It's
No, I was,
5 minutes, 5-minute major. Oh, I don't know what basketball would be. The penalty.
penalty box, 2 minutes.
I think I might have the answer.
Unsportsmanlike contact.
I didn't ride it, and I think I would regret having ridden it. Superstar Limo.
Guilty party right here.
I know.
That ride was bad.
Honestly, luckily, I never had that opportunity.
It was just like, yeah, I might have to agree with you on that, Dozer. I might a ride that I would never want to ride again. But there was also something. I
But
hate
you
to
rode
say
it. But you got to ride it. You have that cred.
Yeah, that's true. And there is something. I can't put my finger on it, but there actually is something with that attraction to the point where I'm like, yeah, maybe give it another go around, see if it sticks again. But then I'm like, no, there's no way. I mean, like, what was the one video? I was just watching something on YouTube about like, theme park history of the Great Movie Ride, theme park history website, and they were pretty much saying like, you know, with that attraction at Hollywood Studios, how many others or where, you know, the history behind the Great Movie Ride and how it's supposed to be an Epcot as a movie pavilion, all this stuff, and makes this attraction. And then they try to make the sequels of the Great Movie Ride, of like, you know, the Great Muppet Movie Ride, which would have been an awesome attraction. I would love that they do something like that. But this Hollywood Superstar Stretch Limo was like a sequel to the Great Movie Ride, and I just remember riding this ride. I'm like,
What?
Who
Who the hell said that?
Oh no, this was when Michael Eisner. This was like okay, so we're building Hollywood Studios on the West Coast.
So you mean after they realized, oops, we built a dud?
Yeah, I'm not saying like a sequel to the Great Movie Ride, but they wanted to take it up a notch, saying, oh, we know we had the Great Movie Ride in Florida. let's do something similar but different out here in California with
Let's do
California
something.
Adventure.
Let's do something in California on a Kennywood budget.
I wouldn't even call it Kennywood budget. I would actually put it closer to like a
Dutch Wonderland budget.
in between, maybe a Knoebels budget. I would say a Knoebels budget. That's
Okay.
pretty much what it was. Superstar Limo was a Disney ride on a Knoebels budget. You know,
Now, on that, a ride I wish I rode, but think I would have instantly regretted it if I rode it. Garfield's Nightmare.
I just saw something on YouTube about this Garfield
I
attraction.
believe Expedition Extinct did something on it.
Oh, okay. Remind me of where this attraction was.
Knoebels.
Was Garfield at Knoebels?
Not
Because I
Knoebels, Kennywood. Kennywood, I
Kennywood.
believe.
I was gonna say I
Kennywood.
think you the wrong K one. Wrong's out of the state.
Yeah, Kennywood.
Yeah.
Didn't that become the Exterminator?
No, it went from Garfield back to the old mill.
That was it. Okay, I was like, I couldn't remember if the old mill building was for. No, that's on the wrong side of the park. Never mind.
Which the short history is it was basically a tunnel of love, and then they stuck creepy Garfield in there.
Mm-hmm.
When did this attraction come out? Because I vaguely remember something like this.
Oh, it was like I don't even remember. I just remember seeing videos of it going, oh my.
And so, because like my dad grew up, he's from Pittsburgh. I remember we'd go out and he took us to Kennywood when I was a kid growing up a few times, a few trips out there, and I vaguely remember doing a Garfield trip. Though, oh, you know what I do remember? Not Garfield. Here's one that I vaguely remember as a kid. I just remember like the Smurfs. There was, I believe it was in, oh man, my mom keeps talking about this too, which is the craziest thing. She's like, yeah, remember the Smurfs ride, Brian? I'm like, not really, because it's a freaking Smurfs ride. Who would remember the Smurfs? I want to say it was Busch Gardens or I can't remember.
Well, Garfield's Nightmare did just close in 2020. The pandemic finally killed it.
I remember that. I do remember when it closed. They said, by the way, Garfield's Nightmare is not coming back.
And it was purely they lost the rights to Garfield. Oh, well.
Yeah, King's Dominion.
Well, all of the Cedar Fair parks have a weird history with kids' attractions. It's Bernstein Bears. It's Snoopy. It's whatever discount character we can afford. But, yeah, no. Garfield's Nightmare is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It happened. It opened in 2004. It lasted 15 years.
God bless. Hey, there's other dark rides. The in Knott's in Knott's Berry Farm. They got rid of this one dark ride attraction. They put in this one called. It was supposed to be like a shooting one, I think. Under the Iron Reef, it was supposed to be this half metal Kraken thing. Controlled them. They wanted to take the boardwalk down, and it lasted. I think like they put a lot of money and big into this. I think it lasted like less than 5 years, and they just scrapped the whole thing and put back like an original bear, a revival to one of the original bear attractions in there. Like so, Garfield, you lasted at least 3 times as long as this thing did. I don't think it was 5 years.
I can't think of the name. Oh, there we go. Rides I wish I never rode. Disaster Transport.
The former earthquake?
No.
What? No, you didn't.
Disaster
How did I not
Transport.
know this? Maybe I knew this. Doesn't matter.
I'm pretty sure,
Well,
considering when I went to I believe that, when I went to Cedar Point for that one, Brian was with me.
I thought he was.
Disaster
Disaster
Transport.
Transport, the bobsled, the indoor bobsled
bobsled.
coaster.
How do I not remember
At
that?
Cedar Point, dude, this thing's infamous.
I know, but how do I not remember this indoor bobsled attraction?
Hold on. I'm gonna pull up the picture because we all, if you're a theme park person, you've all seen pictures of it.
It's
Like
so-
I remember most of those roller coasters that we did.
maybe it's so bad.
Indoor.
Like,
Oh, yes.
I was gonna
Yes.
say everybody knows that picture.
I remember that one now. But that was one of the ones that had like no AC in it too, even though we were inside. There was no AC whatsoever. It was a complete dark slide coaster. Oh my god, I remember that too.
the building leaked so much it had to close
Yes.
in the rain.
Yes, because yes. Oh my god, I forgot it rained. Oh my god, yes. Forgot about that building too. Like, oh yeah, check this out, indoor coaster. Nope. I mean, it's inside. You know, there's a hill, but then like when you're inside, oh yeah, there's leaking ceilings, and I'm sure if we put a flashlight on, there was probably mold growing inside there with all the water.
Oh God,
damage.
yeah.
No AC whatsoever in that ride. That makes like Space Mountain be like a luxury cruise.
Oh
Well-
no! Well, and first off, it's a bobsled coaster. There's a
True.
reason like most of them are closed.
Yeah.
But then you realize how much of any excitement in a bobsled coaster is taken away by the inability to see it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, the fun is you can see where you're going and sliding up the track. And nope.
No, that's right. 'Cause you can't see the yeah.
You know, I got a weird one for things I wish I never rode. I got one that most people are going to hear me say this and kind of blasphemous. The Matterhorn.
No, that thing's painful.
It was somebody with this kid was filming, and all he heard me was everything out because every moment hurt. Agony on the butt. I looked. We pull into the station. My first words are, "Why does Disneyland hate me? I've been on one thing and it attacked. It
Yeah.
hurts." Because my buddy was like, "What do you think?" I'm like, "It all hurts. What was that?"
That's honestly, that's kind of like us with Space Mountain. We could probably I hate to say it, but I think I've met my days with Space Mountain. This last trip was kind of, we can do Thunder Mountain, but getting off that space was a little rough.
What? See, I still love Space Mountain, but
I love it too, but it was I
as
think
long as
it's
I'm in the front of a car, not a train. I just need to be in the front of a car.
See, yeah, like I was like, so I was row 6. I was the last person like on the second car, like in the very, very back, whipping all around. I'm like, oh god, this kind of hurts. Here's another one that will probably I probably will never ride again. Is the Forbidden Journey, Harry Potter's Forbidden Journey. That
Really?
We got sick. Last time I got on that,
Journey's not that bad. It's fun. It's thrilling, but it ain't
Oh,
that
it's-
bad.
well, let's just say the last time we went on that, we had like Starbucks before getting on it, and we weren't thinking it was the first attraction that day. We're like, okay, well, we're gonna
There you
walk
go.
it off a little bit.
There you go. I would have no problem with that, but yeah, there you go. That's why I love Forbidden Journey. I think Forbidden Journey.
I think it's one that needs to end your day at the park, not start your day at the park.
No, it's just start your day.
I'm going to
Just don't
stop
eat before you go on.
with some moderately breaking news.
Oh,
And I say that because one place said this was reported 10 hours ago, but actually in the article it says 10 seconds ago. Ryan Gosling officially joins the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
As who?
Nova.
I feel like this was already announced.
What?
Right, it is widely believed that Ryan Gosling is Marvel's new Richard Rider.
Ooh.
I feel like I knew this already, unless it was just like heavy rumor speculation that he was in talks to be Nova.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just reading it as reading my Google headlines.
I guess maybe, but isn't Guardians 3 done shooting?
No, it's not a close. He has other movies to film before he films this.
Got it.
Huh.
So if anything,
Oh, Brian, are you thinking of Warlock? Maybe
Adam Warlock.
That's who I was.
Yeah,
That's
it's not Gosling, it's somebody else. I was gonna say, I think you're thinking of the casting of Warlock because I can understand getting Nova and Warlock.
Yeah. All right. Now
because they're
who's
both
Nova
from the
then?
same universe.
Well, then who's Nova then? I know who Warlock is. but who
Nova's
the hell-
Nova's a member of the Nova Corps. That's why I mentioned Guardians. It's like that's interesting. Where he's coming in, but he could be coming in one of the TV things.
I think if he's in Guardians 3, it's an after credits scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless he's going to be no, because he already finished shooting Thor: Love and Thunder. Because I was like post-credit scene for that.
No, I'm thinking maybe more could be for the Christmas, but they said they just casted him, so who knows?
It's probably the holiday Christmas special. Which I hope. Side note: I hope to God they do it like a jab at the Star Wars holiday special for this Guardians Christmas special on Disney Plus. I hope they jab at Star Wars.
I hope it's Star-Lord making them watch Star Wars.
Yes, that I want something like that where he's like, oh yeah, when I was a kid, or like there was a holiday special growing up that Star Wars was big in my household, but we don't talk about that.
Yes.
Apparently, Hugh Jackman posts a photo of him looking surprised at his phone, and now everybody's like, Wolverine's in Deadpool 3!
They've been talking about that for the past 20 years.
I hope it is, and I hope they find the voice actor from the TV show and make him be Wolverine. That's something a Deadpool would appreciate.
I just want like a scene where it's Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, like sort of like was it the first movie when Deadpool was going around and like killing Ryan Reynolds, or like
the post-credit scene of the first movie.
Yeah. I would like to see like a scene where it's just like a post-credit of Ryan Reynolds sitting down with Hugh Jackman in Kevin Feige's office pitching a Deadpool Wolverine crossover film that would never happen.
That would be fantastic. But let's add a little bit of flair to it. I want to have him be like twice from My Hero Academia, where he starts talking like nonsense, and Ryan Reynolds is talking, and Deadpool talks through him.
Yes.
Like you don't know, Ryan. I just don't know which one of you is talking right now. And it's something sarcastic. Ryan, that could be either of you.
And they're in Kevin Feige's office, like pitching him the idea of this Wolverine Deadpool like crossover for Deadpool 4, and that would be like a nice tease for everyone going, and be like, just kidding, this is not happening.
It's just one of those. It's one of those things to be like, see, will never happen again. Could never happen again.
It's like Bruce Campbell with the possessed hand from Evil Dead and Doctor Strange.
And Pizza Papa, it's over.
Like it's the little things like that make the fans happy, So you have Evil Dead, then you have this one where it's like it will never happen that Hugh Jackman will be Wolverine in a Deadpool film, but just for a little taste for the fans, like here's the post-credit scene.
He doesn't even have to get ripped. He can just be wearing a leather jacket. It's fine.
From the original film, the yellow and black jacket from the first.
It's just like anything, any kind of biker jacket, they'll be fine. He's fucking Logan. He only has a few styles here, folks. And fun fact, it's leather jackets.
I got it. The scene would be like walking into a bar and he's wearing the flannel shirt and people are like, oh, here's Wolverine. He's just like sitting at the bar like taking shots or something like that. And then like Ryan Reynolds sits down and like slams the script down next to Hugh Jackman, going, "You, we have to go over this."
What happens is Deadpool is forming X Factor 2,
There it is.
and he's trying to recruit Logan. Even shows him the yellow spandex suit. I even got you a super suit. And then Logan just punches him.
That would work.
And since he's Deadpool, with claws out, straight through the
With
head.
clothes out. And someone looks at him like, what the hell? He goes, don't worry, he'll be back in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Punches him. Head slowly grows back. Don't you know how much that stings?
Classic. Did you know his head was going to grow back? But you know his head grows back?
And as I continue to scroll through my news headlines here, I love when I read a headline and I know the whole article from the headline. Seth Rogen's worst movie to get rebooted. What movie do you think is being rebooted? I want to see if
All
you
right,
guys
wait.
can get it.
All right. It's Seth Rogen's worst film.
Green Hornet?
Yes. Ding, 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 ding.
Wait, what is it?
Green Hornet.
Like Green Hornet? 'Cause
Oh,
I think that
God.
qualifies.
Yeah, that would qualify.
No.
So now coming soon, Green Hornet and Kato.
Shut up.
That's the name.
I kind of like that Kato's getting in the title there. Like, attaboy, Kato.
They
I'm
might as well just call it The Adventures of the Green Hornet and Kato.
Kato.
Like really
is
goes to, like,
animated.
60s. Yeah.
I'm waiting to see the Disney headline come out. Now that the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial is over, The Lone Ranger 2 comes out.
Oh God. Did you see the one article?
It's Tonto time.
Did you guys see the one article allegedly saying that Johnny Depp, and it was a unique amount of amount because they were like Johnny Depp in negotiating, and it was I don't know if it was
$301 million.
Yes. I was like, interesting, because in the court hearing, they're like, even if Disney offers you $300 million in a pack of llamas, you wouldn't go back. So the article is Johnny Depp in talks to come back for $301 million.
Honestly, there were articles that also said like, but like right away when that came out, he will never go back to Disney. People were like, there's articles like his lawyer even like, I wouldn't be so sure about that. Disney's a guaranteed steady paycheck.
Dear,
No, we do not want to piss that company off.
Dear everybody who believed that, I would also like to point out that about 5 years ago, probably 6, because the pandemic happened and I lost all track of years, Motley Crue signed legally binding contracts that they will never tour again. And coming to DC next week, Motley Crue.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and how did that turn out? But yeah, that's when you hear that. It's like, okay, but I like it when people think you hear things like that because people think Disney, they think the Disney movies. You forget how far those tendrils go.
And
in Hollywood, I wouldn't want to anger the mouse.
And especially because even though they were going to try it, Disney knows, you know, I know. No Johnny, no pirates.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. And Disney will try in their best to try to work around it by saying, well, what if we do a pirate universe? Disney will do it.
They would try to work around it.
Yeah, but haven't they milked pirates to death?
Oh, they milked it after the second movie. Honestly, as much as I love the trilogy, those films were just knocking them out. Hey, it's honest to God, I hate to say it, the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise is Disney's Fast and Furious franchise.
No, it's not, for one reason. Pirates has not gotten more absurd.
I was going to Tokyo Drift, anybody?
It's kind of just, if anything, it's gotten less absurd because throughout the movies, they slowly have been taming down Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, that's true.
He's never the insanity that he is in that first
Because
movie.
he's old now.
I don't care.
But you're right. Like, I mean, he is Pirates. Like, you can't recast him.
You
As
can't
somebody-
recast him, and you can't continue the franchise without him
Without him.
passing it
glory.
on in some legit fashion. His
Right.
story needs to have a definitive end.
He needs to have his ending. I just, as someone, I'm not that big of a fan of both Pirates movies. 2 and 3, we all can figure out why, but even Pirates 1, I'm like, it was good, but not like, it was fine.
It was fun. The first film was fun. But it was like one of those movies to go.
He wasn't that great. I didn't think it was that great person. Again, my personal opinion, I know a lot of people love. I'm like, hey, don't yuck somebody else's yum. You guys love it more tower to you. It just didn't do much for me.
Let's break down the film attractions that became movies. So before Pirates, what was there? Country Bear Jamboree, that came out after.
Country Bear and Haunted Mansion.
The Haunted Mansion came out after Pirates.
Did it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
they were
that
trying to
was-
capitalize on Pirates.
They were trying to make. They opened up with Pirates and said, kind of like the MCU, like, all right, we're gonna start with Iron Man and see.
Oh
where
my
we go.
gosh! How you're right. I thought for I don't know what I was thinking for a second. Honestly, I also forget when the first Pirates came out.
Yeah, we were like in high school. I want to say like freshman year of high school. The first film came out.
That sounds about right.
But like, I remember the Tower of Terror TV movie with Kirsten Dunst and Steve Guttenberg that was on the Disney Channel. But besides that, like, there wasn't any other attraction movies that were out. Like, Pirates was groundbreaking. People were like, yo, this is, and I remember, like, it was a fun film to the point where I was like, all right, what's the next attraction? Like, all right, sell Pirates, next, give me the next one. And people were like, Eddie Murphy, Haunted Mansion. And I'm like, oh, this should be fun. And I saw that piece of shit. And I'm going.
In the Haunted Mansion's defense, though, part of the problem is saying Pirates, there's not much of a story there. There is and there isn't. Not like they created. They had to create characters and name. Not like we have a story of the people breaking down, going in the Haunted Mansion. We have a story at Mansion. So that there's harder there. We have an actual factual being narrated to a story. People know it, and then the ghost host takes over when you walk in.
Yeah, you're right.
But Pirates, the problem with Pirates. Yeah, there's a story, but it's not. It boil it down to brass tacks here. It's pirates invading the town, and doing what pirates do.
Yeah.
There is no definitive Jack Sparrow. I'm blanking on everybody else's name. But Jack Sparrow, but both I'm blanking on like Orlando Bloom and all those names.
Yeah.
But there's no definitive story. So I know what you mean, but at the same time, it really wouldn't translate the same. That's just Disney being greedy and thinking we got this.
But Country Bears had Brian Setzer in it.
I know.
And Christopher Walken. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't.
I know
pass up
Country
a
Bears
Walken.
did. Country Bears, though, was trying to be that. Like, because again, they kind of had following the loose of the attraction because we want to put the Bears back together to perform again. It just kind of gave try to give a little bad backstory because what else is it going to be other than the Bears performing?
Well, I don't know if a lot of you know this. It's a smaller known Disney property, but there is a Space Mountain TV series out there. It exists.
Come again?
It's run for many seasons. It just has a different name.
What, Doctor Who?
It's called Futurama.
Futurama.
Oh my God, you're right.
Oh my
Especially
God.
when it. No, you're right though, because especially when it comes to when FedEx sponsored Space
Yes.
Mountain.
Oh my
Yep.
God.
Oh
my God.
my God.
Oh my. Wow, you got me dirty on that one. When you're right, though. When you're right, you're right.
Hey, wait.
Twice.
Come to think, but wait a minute. It takes it one step further. Isn't Futurama technically Fox licensed?
It's
It
Disney
is.
now.
I was
That's
gonna
why it's
say,
on Hulu.
could they theoretically change Space Mountain to Future Mountain,
They
Futurama?
they absolutely could. They won't, but they
If they
could.
did, I just want to
Hey.
walk through that queue, hearing a nonstop, we're whalers on the moon, we carry a harpoon.
You know what? I mean, why not? They're already doing, what is it? Tokyo Disney's changing to Lightyear Mountain. Their Space Mountain's becoming completely Buzz Lightyear themed.
That makes sense though. Futurama though, you could make a fun storyline. The green wrap on the ships to be the Planet Express ship. You can make a fun story here. They can record dialogue.
It doesn't have to be a permanent overlay. It could be a seasonal thing. It could be something that's like.
But that's the problem. Disney World doesn't like to do seasonal anymore, unless other than the big holiday of being Christmas and Halloween. They don't like to do seasonal attractions.
Yeah.
That's why they stopped with Country Bear Summer. You know, they think they did Christmas in Orlando too. That's why they've been adamant. Haunted Mansion Holiday will never come to Disney World. One, we like keeping that something special there. Two, too many tourists. That's what it comes down to, because so many people are tourists and not locals with annual passes. That's what scares them away from everything. Remember when they were going to take the dome off and completely gut Space Mountain?
I
They
remember
didn't
that.
want to take it offline for more than a year.
And that's the other. Did we talk about the Splash Mountain? Did we talk about this last show or not?
We
I can't
talked about it
remember.
last week.
Briefly.
Yeah, about how it needs to be in a short time span regarding.
Yeah, that's exactly what we
okay.
talked about. That they got to be ready to pull it out. And I get, but Space Mountain, they knew to do what they want to do. They had to gut it. And that's not a space that. But back,
Right.
this is going back Let's go back probably over a decade now. But that's what they wanted to do, and they said, no, we really don't. It would take a year and a half. We don't want to do that.
There's no way. Now,
Yeah.
granted, they do have the Tron coaster now, so I mean,
Just in general, I disagree with them. It would have been worth it.
yeah,
It really, if you take that down, if you did the inside, it would have boosted you. But I think they wanted to do the problem also, I think they wanted to do too much with it. That it was going to be borderline for kids.
Yeah. Now I'm just excited for Future Mountain.
right.
I would go nuts.
That's what I'm saying.
Please tell me our safety announcements at Zoidberg.
Well,
Put the laptop down or don't. What do you? I'm a doctor.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they can't do The Simpsons because it's at Universal. So why not bring Futurama into the park somewhere?
It depends on what kind of you never know. There could be like a groaning contract with The Simpsons.
Yeah,
I doubt
maybe.
it, but I highly doubt it because why are you leaving Men in Black there? Did I say that out loud?
Well, I'm just looking at it as like, so the one I think the next big project. I guess I'm going to ask you guys this. So they're working on Epcot's Future World. They're building the Tron coaster and all this stuff. You know, Walt always said that imagine as long as there's enough imagination in the world, Walt Disney will never be complete. What would be the next project that you guys?
It's what's happening. Look in front of you. This is happening right now that they can't talk. They don't want to talk about it. That's why when all this stuff with DeSantis came down, Disney was very careful what they said. They don't want to admit we moved all of our Imagineering because we're building a fifth gate, baby.
But that did get delayed a couple years.
It did. It did get delayed, but that's what I'm saying. You know, they don't want with the whole DeSantis thing. People, why is Disney being this way? They don't want to have to disclose that we're building another park, folks. That's why the Imagineers are here.
Besides the fifth park, if there was something that you guys would want to update or fix in the current parks, what would be the next project you'd want to work on, minus the fifth gate?
Something I like to fix, replace, or
I'll give you my example. So, you know, Epcot is doing the Future World renovation makeover.
yeah.
I think it's finally time now that we're getting the Tron coaster in Tomorrowland. They need some, not just Florida's Tomorrowland, but like Disneyland's Tomorrow. They need to have some sort of like overall thematic storytelling for Tomorrowland. But here's now it's not there anymore, but it's like here's Stitch's Great Escape, here's Bud Lightyear's Astro Blasters, here's Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. Like there's not really like if you remember back in the day, it was like a futuristic launch pad with like alien encounter and like everything was at one point it was like not steampunk, but it had that like
Jules Verne is the correct term.
Jules Verne.
yeah, like that's what Disneyland Paris has is the Jules Verne steampunk. But like I think at one point now they're going back to like the retro, like bright white 60. I don't know. Like I feel like Tomorrowland in some shape or form needs to have some sort of overall theming.
Tomorrowland historically is the most thematically troubled area of the Kingdom style parks.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow eventually becomes today.
Right.
So that's why they have tried a lot of the tomorrow that never was. That's the Jules Verne. That's the alien encounter stuff. It's supposed to be a retro futuristic thing. I don't think we'll see a big retrofit like that. I think if we get any retrofit, it'll be making it the future of Tron.
That's what I'm thinking it's going to be.
Just-
I mean, like
and
neon.
that's just basically more neon.
Right.
But I am going to single out an attraction that I think should be next for the fix. It's a shorter fix. It's probably a cheaper fix. And dear God, it needs to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to update the Tomorrowland Speedway.
I knew it. I knew you were
Yeah.
about to say the Speedway because I was going to say, Brian, the biggest problem with what you want to do
Yeah.
is the Speedway issue.
Yeah.
Now,
That's
Mendoza's right. That's an easy fix of anything. I just don't think it'll be next for a couple of reasons.
Yeah.
Mainly
But-
because Magic's getting a lot of love. I think Animal's next on the list.
I think it's such an easy fix, though, because it's a little bit of pain, a couple rethemes, and listen to this. Listen to this. Electric cars.
No.
sponsored by Tesla.
No, absolutely not.
Nope.
You are not letting Elon anywhere near these fucking parks.
Nope.
Do not let him talk to
I've-
Chapek. Do not let him talk to anyone in Disney. I do not want Elon, and that man is toxic. He is evil, and he is more manipulative than Disney, and that is saying a lot.
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
Sponsored by Ford, because I believe Ford will be leading the electric revolution.
Okay.
Because you want to lead the electric revolution? Release an F-150, an electric F-150. Oh, wait, they did that.
That's saying a lot.
Started at $40,000. They did that.
Yeah.
Look, that is the everyman buying an electric car right there.
Right.
That's a
Sorta.
good point. It's a very good point. But yeah, uploading the Speedway's good. I'm going to be honest, and this is going to come with a lot of criticism for a lot of people right here. Something I think should be high on the list. It's a big project because I know they just got Galaxy's Edge, but Animal Kingdom's technically next, and I'd go back to Hollywood. And I'm targeting two things in one here because there's a lot of space if you take Star Tours and Indiana Jones. I don't think you need Star Tours anymore. I think that space could be used for something better.
Well, I don't think you need to cut your bear jamboree anymore. So
You have a whole section of Star Wars. I don't think Star Tours is as vital. I'm just saying,
that's true.
you have a whole area. If you take that with Indiana Jones, you have a lot of area you can redo at once and do something big with, or 2 or 3 things with.
But
Well,
to
let's
keep-
just take a moment and just recognize the amount of dead space at this park.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Walk
God, yeah.
Wide swaths of park with nothing.
There's a lot they can do here. That's why I'm saying. I know some people, they just got Star Wars. Yeah, but you really got 2 attractions. And do I really need to say what I'm feeling right now about Rise of the Resistance? I think we all know how I feel about
No,
that. Even though now you can just wait for it, but whatever. That's beside the point.
I
But
don't
that's-
disagree. I
Yeah.
don't disagree, but I think Animal needs it more.
I do think Animal's next. I truly do
Yeah.
believe in going in that circle. Animal's next. And I think obviously we know where it's go. All eyes have to be on Dino Land. Other than Dinosaur and Resto, I'd leave those. If you have to retheme Resto to something, I'd leave those. But Dino Land's the next area where you can push out. You can build out and build up from there. And
Well-
sorry, Chester and Hester's, that might mean you have to go.
That's
What-
fine.
what
I mean,
the-
that
what
whole
is-
area is Zootopia. That's all I'm thinking of. That you can do Rafiki's Planet Watch with the train, and yeah, that's
So I think, and I can't believe I'm going to use a baseball analogy here
Da-da-da-da-da.
because I hate baseball. But you know what? Not everything needs to be a slugger. Not everything needs to knock it out of the park. You
Correct.
need to hit some singles and doubles. You need some B's, C's, and D's.
Well, that's what
Mhm.
I'm thinking. You could build out and build a bunch of, you know what I mean? You could build that into an area where you have a bunch of Season D attractions. Frankly, but if you want to keep the Chester and Hester's theme, have them expand and had a whole bunch of flat rides like a carnival. It would have more than just one attraction. Yes, I know, Primeval World.
Well, going back to that article I sent out earlier, where the biggest mistake Disney's made is replacing Great Movie Ride with Mickey and
Mickey and
Minnie's
Minnie.
Runaway Railway.
Stitches, Great Escape. My
And here's the thing: they didn't even talk about why the only reason I consider it a mistake, and that's the capacity change.
I didn't know at first it was changing capacity. That changes a lot because Great Movie Ride pulled in a lot of potential.
Yeah, I haven't even looked it up. I'm assuming there's a capacity change just because there has to be.
There has to be with your changing for those big long. It had the big long cars really made it, but part of that was the haul at the end to watch the movie montage.
And if not even capacity, just the amount of people out of line because of ride length.
yeah.
But it really focused on the fact that they replaced a C ticket with a D ticket. But they say, hey, replace the C ticket with a D ticket. It went up. Yeah, well, you're forgetting your C ticket was an E ticket when this park had opened.
Yeah.
That wasn't them. That was them just bringing it up a ticket. That wasn't a big deal. They completely blew that out of the water, out of proportion. There we go.
That's why I think the Animal will be next. It will be taking over whatever Zootopia, whatever you want to do. Keep Chester and Hester have more flat rides. But I do agree with you. They need more to do, even
Yeah.
if it is some little. It doesn't have to be. Put a freaking tilt-a-whirl in for all we care.
You know, that's something that's interesting you say about that with Hollywood Studios, because I remember when the park, when it was MGM Studios, and how like there was the Sounds Dangerous, there was like, even though there weren't rides, there were still other types of like
Well,
shows and stuff, because it was about a film studio, sort of
There-
like
the-
going to,
there is shit in where Sounds Dangerous was.
yeah, Frozen Ever After.
No. Frozen Ever After replaced
Well,
American Idol, which replaced. That's a different theater. Where Sounds Dangerous is
Oh,
compilation of Mickey shorts,
yeah, that's right. That's right.
where I got to take a photo with a potato from Potato Land.
Okay.
Hey, if you watch enough of these new Mickey cartoons, Potato Land's a thing.
Okay.
Really?
And they totally spoof on themselves. They make
Okay.
fun of Disney with Potato Land.
Mm.
That's cool.
Listen, I know, but it's just you're right though. They have a lot of dead space. Their neck. If you're going cyclical, I would focus more on those two right now because listen, you knocked it out of the park. There's no doubt. Flight of Passage is a winner, but you have to have more for, and then you have to have more specifically. These are two parks. You need more for kids to do.
Yeah.
I didn't go to Animal, and I am not. My kid would absolutely love most of the walking trails and seeing the animals. But when you're not telling her rides, she wants to ride things.
Two, I
Yeah.
think Tough to Be a Bug and Triceratops. Wouldn't that be it?
For Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
The train
Safari.
ride. The safari, the train ride to Rafiki's
No.
Planet Watch.
Safari is a given though.
But
The train ride to Rafiki's Planet Watch.
further
It's a
point,
ride.
she can't really see anything on the train.
Yeah.
I mean, on the safari. Because she's small, she has to sit further in, which puts an
Yeah.
adult blocking her seeing any actual animals.
Even if she's on the end, those seats are not conducive for that for her. Yeah.
And no, she likes the train, and she likes the stuff at Rafiki's Planet Watch because petting zoo. But I have a petting zoo. I can go pet all these animals all I want. I live in farm country, USA.
It just and Rafiki's Planet Watch, that's even another one that on the list that you could things to do with. They've been talking that for a while now, so that could be also. But I'm hearing to more watch the Chester and Hester area. But again, those are early plans.
Do they still have the makeout booths in Planet Watch? I
haven't
mean, the
been there
sounds of the
so-
rainforest.
I haven't. I'm
I
assuming yes.
forgot about those.
I'm assuming yes. I haven't been to Rafiki's Planet Watch in it's a while.
Yeah.
So I go to Rafiki's Planet Watch a lot because one of my Disney traditions is I get a photo with Jiminy.
Yes, and that's where you can find them.
Jiminy's always there. I think in Rafiki's Planet Watch they could put a few more character meetings.
There's things you could do there to spice it up, but yeah, I'm just saying, dude, you have Animal Kingdoms and it needs some love. It needs more. Like you said though, I feel it's about any of the Disney parks, especially with the way lines are going. You need more fast things to do. You need more flat ride city.
Also, call me crazy
Okay, crazy.
because I am crazy, but what needs to happen in Rafiki's Planet Watch? I have the ride because part of what you need to keep is you need to keep the viewing of the vet stuff. And I know exactly what to do to make it a ride and make it interesting. Can somebody call up Mr. DNA? Because we need that moving theater from Jurassic Park.
You know, he's been putting himself out there for merchandise, but I think we can really head him up.
I'm surprised Universal actually didn't double down on that when they built Islands of Adventure for the Visitor Center.
What the fuck would they do? They're not actually doing dinosaur research. It wouldn't have the same impact focusing on fake sets, whereas at least at Disney, you could be panning to actual vet labs.
Brian, I'm going to answer that with this. I'm going back to the Plans of Cartoon World. Don't you remember when they actually wanted to have a fake log split in two? That's the company we're talking about here.
I know, but still, it's like that would have been like taking
Mr. D, and they're using a lot of it now for merchandise. As far as honestly, the best thing you could do with Mr. DNA was put him at each end and have him introducing Jurassic Park and talking randomly as people walked around.
Well, I'll say this much: Mr. DNA isn't the Velocicoaster. He's our narrator.
Yeah, I knew that, but I'm just saying they could have used him a lot better. But that's as far as I would go with that, because I think a Mr. DNA attraction back then they were trying to use Jurassic, the River Adventure as one of their headliners.
Because I remember even like walking around Jurassic Park at the Visitor Center, and there's a photo of me. My mom has it somewhere. I gotta find it. I'm not kidding when I say this. The actor who was portraying John Hammond looked almost exactly like John Hammond from the movie, like creepy, uncanny similarity. And there was a guy dressed up like Jeff Goldblum. Like there was 2 cast members at Universal Studios walking around as Ian Malcolm and John Hammond. And I'm like, that's awesome.
But
Now, granted, like Universal has those character performers anyway. It's just in Jurassic Park.
what I never understood, and this perplexes me to this day, how on God's green earth is Hollywood's River Adventure better than Islands of Adventure?
It's always been that way.
I
Even
know,
when it was-
but Orlando Islands of Adventure was built second with more space. They could have done whatever the fuck they wanted.
They could have, should have, and I understand they do regret not doing more with it. But when they built it, they kind of, I think, assumed, I don't know, that technology wouldn't get better or something. The way they built the attraction with the animatronics, I don't know if what they were thinking in mind with that. But I think they weren't thinking of the future. I think they kind of thought this was going to be the top right now.
And it's like the 2 biggest disappointments in rides, I find, are Jurassic Park, River Adventure, and Islands of Adventure, where it's basically Lift Hill, the ride,
It is
Yeah.
Let's Kill the Ride.
and then Kali River Rapids. Because that's like, oh yeah, you forgot the whole rapid part. It's a, you go up the lift hill, you go straight through a burning forest, and then you drop down. Dorney Park has a better river rapids ride. It just doesn't have a drop.
Hell,
The
Hershey-
best one in the area is obviously Popeyes.
Hey,
Oh.
honestly, Hershey Park had the best Canyon River Rapid ride before they built the water park. That River Rapid ride was the bomb, hands down.
A lot.
And they,
There are a lot of good river rapids rides, and Kali is just bad.
yeah,
It's not good. It has a splash. You get soaked on it. With the problem being, very rarely in a Disney park do I want to be soaked.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of River Rapids, have you ever done the Grizzly River Run out in California?
No.
I didn't feel the
That's-
need.
That's actually fun. I didn't get as wet. That was maybe why I enjoyed it, because
I didn't want to try. I did not want to get wet.
gotcha.
But that section, I kind of looked at it, just walked through it, just to look through it. I'm like, I don't need to do Soarin', and I wanted to ride it, but I'm like, I'm standing outside of it, going, I just don't want to get wet.
I didn't get that wet actually. It was a nice like Splash Mountain wet.
Yeah,
It wasn't.
but I got a couple bills on you here, buddy.
Hey, the last run with Kali, I was the one that got soaked. I was not happy about
Collie
that.
works a little different, but that whenever I go on a water attraction, I just assume I'm going to get soaking wet.
I am going to say both of those rides were developed at the same time, because Kali opened in 99, Grizzly River in 2001.
Yeah.
Right.
So there wasn't enough time for them to learn from the mistakes of Kali to build in Grizzly. Like, they
Right.
wouldn't have had enough guest feedback to change it to make an actual river rapid ride.
Right.
So why is Grizzly so much better when, again, they had all the space in the world?
I think they also knew at Grizzly that this is the way they built the Bearhead. This is going to be one of the big things at our park. When they first built it, I'm pretty sure that had to be in their mindset of, we want this to be a focal point.
Right.
Bruce, when Kali opened, it was one of the big things in Animal Kingdom. There wasn't shit in Animal Kingdom.
Yes, there was.
There was dinosaur in the safari. That's it.
Countdown to extinction if you go early enough, but yes, thank you.
And
It's
Wait.
tough to be a bug.
Tarzan rocks.
And let me just piggyback. There literally was shit in Animal Kingdom. You could buy animal feces at the
Yep.
bakery.
You could have, yes.
I'm
correct.
just saying that there literally was shit in Animal Kingdom that you could buy. I might add, but go on.
Oh, so much has been explained.
I missed that. I want them to bring that back.
Hold on, who built Grizzly?
I'm sorry. What you mean? Not to zoo?
The fake poo that you
Yeah,
can
not
get
a
at
zoo.
the
Yeah, fake poo or not a zoo.
yeah. They should bring that back. It was fun and educational.
No, they're both built by the same company,
Who?
Collie and Grizzly.
No, with what company?
You know what company I'm going to say.
No, I don't, but I want to hear it anyway.
When I say it, you're going to hate it.
Just hear. Let me have it then.
Intamin.
I knew you were gonna say Intamin. I knew it. I don't know how I knew. Just what you said. Well, you know, I'm like it's Intamin, but tell me something different. Hey, Intamin does pretty. This is before Intamin made Pilgrim's Plunge. Okay, this is when Intamin actually had kind of an idea. Oh, didn't they do the Whitewater Rapid at Cedar Point? Never mind. Withdrawn. They have done two big mistakes then.
Now you're making me look it up. Yes, I know it's permanently closed.
While he's looking, you know what though, folks, I got a moment here. While we're looking that up, I'm gonna hijack here for a second because we had a house announcement last week after being leaked completely by AMC with a contest, at a theme park Halloween event that just happens to be running the same dates. Horrors of Blumhouse, the Black Phone and Freaky is coming to Halloween Horror Nights 31. Still don't know the location yet, but those maps, speculation maps, are getting a little closer each time, and that's scary because the weekend is still on both here in Hollywood. But Horrors of Blumhouse was also announced for Hollywood, so they are double coasting. That was not on any of their maps until now. Locations of the houses, we still don't know. I saw some people posting rumors that the Disaster Q house, or the Fast and the Furious Q, Force of Habit, was going to be Universal Monsters Legends Collide. That is not true. They have announced B7, I think I even said it last time, Parade Building, B79 is housing that house. So we still don't know what's going in there. But it is the end of June. We are going to have announcements fast and furious because I'm just excited about what's coming next.
I'm telling you, give me a 20. I'm doubling down. I swear to God. If based off of this season of Stranger Things, and with the last 2 episodes coming this week, if there is not at least a scare zone for Stranger Things this year at Halloween Horror Nights, I'm going to be upset. I'm like, this season alone.
I'm only on episode 3 of the season, but I'm going to say of what I understand this. Yes, they put it on a speculation map. When we did the behind the Scream tour, and we walked through that second Stranger Things house, I don't think A&D was really behind this. They mostly what they did was had Netflix send them props and 3D print them props to start using. They really were not in it. I do know the Netflix partnership goes on. I don't know what they would do with Stranger Things, especially because you have the last one coming out with 1 season left. I don't know what they would do. This house would most likely have to, unless they wanted, because they ended at the Starcourt Mall scene. That would be redundant and pointless to do it. This would have to be based completely on the season. I know what you mean from this, but after the last house, I think they should stay away. I'm getting major American Horror Stories. Second house is still good, but I'm getting Walking Dead vibes at this point. You've done 2. Maybe it's time to cut. Because there's other Netflix shows, Fear Street, that really need their own house. Fear Street.
Yeah. That I would be all right. I would be happy with Fear Street too.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you and knocking it. Listen, they did know Stranger Things house. I'd give it a try. The first house was fantastic, just so well, not scary, but the theming was just so
Right.
good. The second
what-
house was so just with me walking through a tunnel, going in the upside down, going, please scare me, please somebody jump. You're walking, please scare me.
That's what I was referring to. Is like, just give me a house with just just with the art. Like, I can just see it right now. Like, the house, the facade outside would be Vecna. Well, I don't want to spoil it too much. You said you're only third season in.
I'm only on the third episode, dude.
Third episode in. But wait, so you haven't got to Robert Englund's character yet, have you?
Nope.
Okay, I won't say anything else then.
But thank you for confirming what I was thinking last night. Thank you very much.
What?
Not gonna I was thinking of who this Vecna character was more humanoid than anybody else. I was thinking it was who Eddie Munson's dad said just made everything disappear. Now I'm starting to think Eddie Munson's Victor, I think it's Victor, Eddie Munson's uncle or grandfather, whatever, son is going to end up being Vecna. Thank you for that, because Robert Englund's officially going to be playing that old man in the insane asylum. How do I know? He's Robert Englund, baby.
Well, Robert Englund.
So before you say anything else, how wrong am I?
All right. What's your theory?
That Vecna, the main villain Vecna, he's way too humanoid. He is going to end up being when they first found out that the cheerleader was passed. Dozer's not going to watch anytime soon, so I'm good here. Spoiler alert. They found that the death at the end of the first episode happened. During that episode, Nancy talked to Eddie's uncle, and he mentioned this guy. They sent him to the insane asylum. I'm like, oh, maybe that's Vecna. No, that old man's playing him. So Vecna is Vecna, whatever you say the main villain's name is, all going to be that kid who got stuck in the upside down. And even going back to the first episode, was the real person who did the events of the massacre, not 11. Tell me I'm wrong. Silence. Yes, I watch too much media.
Yeah, there's actually, so you're pretty much hitting the nail on the head. Like that.
You know why? It's not that it didn't make it. I forgot he was in the season. People had told me. I forgot he was in it. When you said that, I was like, ding, 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 ding. The mind just went.
I forgot he was in it too until when they were like, oh, he's this old guy in the asylum. And I'm like, oh, wait, Robert Englund hasn't been in the show yet. I remember he was casted in this.
I forgot he was cast in it. When you said that, just whoop.
Damn it. But no, you pretty much hit the nail on the head.
The Duffer Brothers are good. They're not that good, and they're doing too much here.
So, and it's not, here's what's even neat too. You already know the I mean, that's pretty much the reveal by the last episode, is that Vecna is trapped in the upside down. But what's interesting is that he's patient 1. 11 is patient 11. So he's the first one out of this whole group with the powers. And what's the way how this mid-season finale ended.
Remember, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, well, you pretty much know the.
Yeah, even though I've guessed, I still like to watch it.
Okay,
I made my guess. You've confirmed it. Let me get. I'm gonna get there fast. I promise.
Okay, all right. I'll let you finish it up. But there's this really cool scene with Elle and One and all this stuff. It's. I will say this much: this story, season 4. By far in villain roles, has by far the best backstory for a villain ever for a horror movie. Honest to God, like best backstory ever.
We'll see.
I'm telling you, the writing of season 4 is fun. Like That's why I'm like, my God, give me a house. Give me a house for this season, because like there's so much that they throw in at us in the season. Like you have the insane asylum, you have there's like a house with the grandfather, and they explain the grandfather clock. Like it's just like, yeah, trust me. Like when you, by the end of the midseason finale, hopefully you feel the same way I feel, where it's like, yes, give me, like, I know what Brian's talking about. Give me that house. Give me
I only say this because I've walked through the first two houses. I don't know if I want a 3. Just if that's how art and design feel. But listen, they might see things for the season and feel inspired. That's happened before. If they announce it, it'll be at the bottom of my list, which means it'll be amazing.
Like, so have you come across the Russians yet?
Just that no, not really.
Okay.
They're starting to get there.
Okay. Well, I mean, they referenced the Russians in season 3. But you
Well,
haven't
that's the only reference. We see the Russians in season. We
Well,
flat
that's
out
right.
see the
Yeah,
Russians
yeah.
in season 3.
That's right.
They spoiled that Hopper's alive in Russia. They sent that spoiler out in the beginning of freaking COVID.
Oh yeah.
So stupid on that part. First off, I disagree with that. You should let us get there. Let us hanging for at least a year. Come on, who cares? Should have left us hanging. We all know David Harbour is alive and well and living in Russia. But I've seen that they're going to try to get him out. That's all I've seen to there.
Okay, so you haven't seen what goes on in the prison then?
I've seen a little bit, but not much. Nothing about the gulag.
Okay, so you don't know what, like, okay, so they never told you like what's there at the gulag, that like what they're okay. Yeah.
Oh, do you mean the Demigorgon we saw at the end of last year? No. Oh, was I not supposed to say that? They showed us at the end of last season.
What did they?
They showed the Demigorgon, but they didn't tell us where. However, it takes no genius to put 2 and 2 together. It ain't in the States. What other country are we going to?
That's true. Okay. But yeah, no, the gulag, what they do with the gulag is pretty bad. That's what I'm telling you. Like there's just scenes in this season where I'm like, God, that would be a great scare for a house. Like,
I've done too many of these Walking Deads and everything to feel.
I will agree though. I think Walking Dead has,
they had good Walking Dead houses. Don't get me wrong, but by the end, I just don't see it out of this. We'll see. I don't think if Stranger Things is happening, I think we're going to get a mega house next year. I don't think it's at the end.
I think that would be worth the wait. I think if they do a Stranger Things, do it next year for the whole story, for like all 5 seasons.
Because with this year, I'm hearing Evil Dead is pretty much a lock.
Oh wait, old Evil Dead?
Mm-hmm.
Like not okay.
OG, because they already did the remake. This would be OG.
You know what they should do is do a trilogy. Dude, give me Army of Darkness, Evil Dead 2, and The House too.
Should just do Army of Darkness personally, but whatever. Again, I will find out. I have a feeling if Stranger Things is announced, it's going to be soon. We have a month, we have a month. They got to get these standees out, so they have to, within the month, they have to have the big properties announced.
I have the perfect pitch for an awesome house. Call me crazy, but this is what it'd be called. You ready?
Okay, crazy.
Bruce Campbell Presents. And it'd be like Evil Dead, Army of Darkness, Bubba Hotep. It's like all the films that he was in.
I could see a Bruce Presents house or a Bruce Campbell series house. I could see that as a nice joke house, but unfortunately, because of feedback with I think Evil Dead is a known franchise, but Ash vs. Evil Dead, they got a lot of negative feedback over that house.
But it wouldn't have to be, it can just touch base on just like...
Because of that, I think that puts a nail in the coffin to a Bruce Campbell house. I like it, but that's what I'm saying. I'm with you. But Ash vs. Evil Dead, every bit of advertising had Bruce Campbell's face on it. And that's what I mean. Bruce Presents, I don't think he's recognizable enough. He is to the mass. There's a core who's always going to recognize him. I don't think to the mass they're trying to get, they would. I'm not knocking it. I love the idea. I just don't think they'd ever go for it.
I have a better idea. We don't need an Evil Dead house. We need an Evil Dead the musical.
Yes, a short stage show of the musical.
Yes.
Abso-friggin-lutely. That is Horror Nights, pure Horror Nights right there.
Like a
Splash
30-minute.
Zone.
Yeah.
But seeing as how that's not happening, unfortunately, I'll just have to settle for Bill and Ted coming back. Rumor it's not yet.
Right after doing Face the Music too. Like, my God, you want to talk about that duo that's still somewhat like popular-ish.
Nothing about the duo, more about the actors. That's my understanding.
What?
Yeah.
That
It's not about Bill and Ted and Brights. It might be Bill and Ted about the Bill and Ted the cast.
what, like Keanu Reeves and Alex?
No. In the park, I think they're having trouble
oh.
killing Bill and Ted. I could be wrong. I only heard that from a few, like 2 people. So I think that might just be rumor, but that's another. It's around.
How could it be hard to fill those two? I could see that being
Because the 2 that had done it at Horror Nights had done it so long and not doing it for a few years. I think they got commitments that meant they couldn't be available. Listen, obviously one of the originals was Jack the Frickin' Clown, which, yes, James, come back. We're waiting for you, baby. But that's I think what the issue is getting people they feel are good enough for Bill and Ted. Because they got a lot of repeats who haven't done it for a few years. I think that's hurting. The rumor is that's hurting them. But again, no idea if that's true. We'll find out. But that's what they're saying. Marathon of Mayhem and the whatever weird Cirque show thing could be coming back. We'll find out.
Honestly, it wouldn't be a bad idea to bring back the Beetlejuice Graveyard Review.
Where? That's the problem.
Fear Factor stage.
Gone.
Still there.
Nope.
No, they tore that down.
If they didn't tear it down, it's not usable. My understanding. My understanding is when they closed it, they stripped anything usable, cables and all. But
not surprising.
That's what I heard because they want to get work on there fast. With the Epic Universe going on now, Donkey Kong track being erected and whatnot. So they say.
I know nothing, but I do know it's 11:30.
You know where your kids are?
Hopefully sleeping in her bed, damn it.
Sleeping on the couch. He's cute.
Oh, yeah, the other one's probably sleeping on the couch. But she's a bitch, so. I'm talking about the dog.
I know. I was going to make a joke about that.
So the Fear Factor stage, that's the old Wild West on show stage.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Shit.
Now, it may still be there. That was a rumor, but they have no house. That's the rumor. There's not going to be a house next to Men in Black this time. So
because I think of Dead Space. I don't see it as Dead Space personally, but you're going to get a lot of Dead Space with it. Not that the parade buildings don't have Dead Space, but we don't want to go there with that insane walk. Well, and it's also crowd control too, because if they put a house,
they have for the last many years. There's always been a show of Fear Factor. They've always had the house there. I believe and they used to block it off, so you had a dead end there. But now because there's really no reason to walk past Diagon Alley unless you're going in.
I'm just talking about for crowd control because of if they had let's just say a show was coming out.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. They had it blocked off, that you had to come straight out. You couldn't go right into the houses there. You had to kind of walk around, which is fine. But even then, they were doing that well before we always had something there. Now that we don't have even a show there to dead end to, I think they're saying, why bother having a house there?
Right.
It's just going to have wait times appropriate with the other houses.
Yeah, makes sense.
I could be wrong. I also think they want to. I think they want to test things as they're going forward. The prop shop is now officially closed.
I know. Well, I
The
mean,
Williams of Hollywood.
did anybody
Mr.
buy
Williams.
anything? Anybody buy anything while they shop there? I mean, when I was in there, they were selling Shrek 40 glasses for $5 each.
No idea, but
Why would I pay $5 for something I stole?
Exactly. I mean, even for $1 or $1.50, I would buy one. But I'm like, you guys are selling these for $5 a pop. I'm like, I will guarantee you that if I go to that antique mall in Lakeland, they'll be selling them for a nickel.
I can guarantee you I've owned several sets.
no one wants the Shrek ones.
I know. They're the old Muppet Vision 3D ones too. Nobody wants to.
Get ready for VillainCon.
The whole little Minion section of Universal. Minions
can't have-
Cafe.
You can't have a
VillainCon.
villain con without a Doofenshmirtz.
I wish that would be an awesome thing.
And Universal can't have a Doofenshmirtz.
No, but
Oh my God, but Gru meets Doofenshmirtz.
there's a crossover for you.
But on that incredible bombshell, until next time, we're the idiots.
So you
So
don't
you
have,
don't
to,
have
be.
to be.
We'll coordinate.
And remember, if you have booking a vacation, call Brian at Love the Mouse Travel.
Yep, 2023 sales are available. 2023 bookings are
Ooh.
available.
Sounds fun.